This is EA Sports coverage of the PGA Tour. Hello again and welcome. I'm Rich Lerner, and beside me is my friend and colleague Frank Nobilo here in the state of Arizona, getting set for a wonderful day of golf. The Grand Canyon is the site for the action today. And Frank, how about this golf course?
Amazing, Rich. From a design point of view, absolute genius. But if you're like me and suffer a little bit from vertigo, don't look down, because the cliffs all the way down to the Colorado River, well, it's an enormous drop-off. So ball that doesn't find the fairway, you'll be re-10. There's out of bounds over there.
He needs to get lucky. That's out of bounds, and it'll cost him a shot. So now he's playing his third shot, Frank, after hitting it OB.
A good tee shot, though. So see if he can string a couple of good shots together now.
What was he thinking there?
I have no earthly idea. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. Well, we've got about 135 yards left. Frank, is this one going to be okay?
Yeah, just a little right. Seemed like good contact.
Not his best, but not his worst. It just got away a little bit to the right. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Just slides by.
Yeah, can't afford to miss too many of those out here today.
Well, once you hit double the par, it's time to just pick up and move on. Frank, this requires one good, solid shot.
Your driver might be too much, given this altitude, so you just have to lay back a little bit.
Wow, way to the right here.
And there's rough over there.
So a tester from 4 feet. Par for McIlroy, but you're just waiting for that moment when he hits that accelerator and pulls away. Frank, the other thing is the intimidation factor here. I mean, everywhere you look, there is huge trouble.
You consider the first 3 holes. Big tee shot across the canyon, long par 3, and you get nearly a 700-yard par 5.
Oh, this looks good.
Certainly is.
Nothing wrong with that one. How about 300 yards and in the fairway? Frank, you know what's so cool about this? It's not just a round of golf. This is somewhere between a round of golf and an expedition. I mean, it's that spectacular.
Well, caddies are replaced by donkeys here for a start, so it really is an expedition, as well as the bison tee markers are like the perfect fit, because this is country that's been here for so long. You know, the Native American Indian has spent so much time in this area, so it's nice to look at this area and remember all these great things that have happened. This is a landmark, and that we can now play golf in amongst this, and in a portion of history, all this thing can happen.
Did a nice job with that putt. Good read, good speed. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Frank, you hate to miss it from that distance.
More than a setback there.
Well, too bad. He gives one back. Here at the fourth hole, it is a relatively short par 4, Colorado River to the left, and the green is... Where is it, Frank? I don't see it.
Yeah, right in the corner, behind that pile of rocks. As the crow flies, it's probably only 270 yards direct to the green, but most people will play it as a very sharp dogleg right par 4. Now, that doesn't mean you just blaze away, because you can see if you're short of that dogleg, you're going to be blocked out. Too far, you're also going to be blocked out. So you really have to get the distance right off the tee here.
Just a pure strike and a perfect result. He'll have a good look at birdie now. This would be a huge momentum swing. This one's for birdie.
It doesn't go in, you got to add another one to the scorecard.
And that's where the golf ball's just staring at you and mocking you and laughing at you.
You know deep down it's smiling too, don't you?
Did the job right there. All right, Frank, let's see what he does.
Yeah, blind tee shot. That's as bad a shot as I've seen for a long while.
Frank, this is always such a difficult spot for a golfer. You just hit one out of bounds, you're trying to regroup.
He's going to need to more than regroup now.
Now on his third shot after being penalized for going out of bounds.
Yeah, tough break really, Rich, on that last shot. It just got away from him.
Time to pick up and move on. Well, Frank, in golf we see shots over bunkers, certainly shots over lakes, water hazards, what have you. But safe to say this is the first time we will have seen a shot over a moving train.
The only hole that really comes close to this, Rich, would be the 17th hole at St Andrews, where you're hitting over the railway sheds. But this is a physically moving railway. Plus the arches to be taken into consideration. Normally, a hole of this length, big advantage to a longer hitter. The longer hitter has to watch out for the top of those arches. If you catch one really good, well, you might just actually catch the arch.
You might need to hop on that train because this is a long hole at 625 yards, this par 5 sixth. And that one rolls just into the rough.
Now you have to decide whether or not that ball's going to fly or not.
Challenging shot now from 180 yards. Frank, I know you love boxing as I do. McIlroy has that big punch knockout ability. It has you on the edge of your seat because you know at any moment he might end the fight.
Yeah, there's always a spark there, or a little simmer, and you think it's just going to burst into flames at one stage and just ignite Rory over any stretch of holes.
Not enough on that one.
Yeah, it just seemed to baby it.
And setting up here in the rough.
That's a tough lie to come out of. Not surprising it's come up short.
Well short right there, but still in the game for a par.
Rich, after you've already made one mistake in the rough.
Now that is a shot that will be replayed over and over. Now with the par 4 7th hole, this an unusual fairway to say the least, Frank.
It's special. The reason why it's special, because it's shaped like an S. If you play it as a straightaway hole, then you're going to have to stay before that rock crop and then be far enough back that you can at least get over it in a direct line to the green. Otherwise, you're going to need a bit of a cut off the tee, and that would be fairly brave. Easy way, because the hole's not too long, would be to lay it up. More difficult, more enjoyable way is to cut it to the right and try and find a gap.
Frank, it really is an ingenious design here. So miss the fairway, and now he's back where he needs to be.
Yeah, minimize the problems.
Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. Locked in on the read and the speed. Ooh, good effort right there. Almost made it. Just a tap in to finish the hole. So he has that for bogey. I can't help but think that the double bogey back on the 6th hole seems to have rattled him.
Oh, Rich, the 8th hole, well in excess of 700 yards, a little sliver of fairway, canyon, left, rock on the right. This is a chance to really push the button down and try and see how far you can hit it, but you better be straight.
Frank, is that out of play on the left?
It leads to Colorado, that river.
Frank, he is one of the longest hitters in the game, but at some point, you have to hit a fairway.
Yeah, he's certainly not the straightest. I think that was the bit you're going to put in the middle. This is definitely not going down the fairway.
It doesn't look good. I think it's going to be in the deep rough. Into the thick stuff, that's a difficult lie. Good-looking shot right here. He'll take that one all day long. Very solid, about 15 feet away.
It's no snack, though.
Wow, I thought he made that. Come on, you have to make that, don't you? Drop shot here at the 8th. And he's putting for bogey now. Can't make it, Frank, if you don't hit it.
Hubert Green once said, 99% of putts left short don't go in. I don't know what happened to the other 1%, but...
Don't be short. Just another couple of turns, Frank. Everything has gone wrong today. Just continues to be ugly. So, Frank, it's more than 600 yards, and you would think, well, wait a minute, there's no way this should be a par 4. But because
it shouldn't be, Rich.
But because of the elevation and the altitude, it's playing, what, in the high 400s, somewhere in there?
It's still downright mean. It is. It's mean.
And take 2 of your best shots to get home.
Well, Mr. Ball does not meet Mr. Fairway. It's off, 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 rough.
That's a disappointment right there, Frank. That one is gone. OB. This is the 5th shot after going out of bounds on that previous shot. Well, let's hope he can regain some ground here on the back 9. Not his best performance so far today.
But what a good back 9 would do. If he can just even this round out with just 9 good holes, So much can happen.
Wayward from the tee, and this one is headed for the rough, Frank. Getting set from 145 yards away. Not his best shot, and now he'll have to deal with a bunker.
Yeah, they say the hardest shot in golf, the next one.
Third shot now from the bunker. It is on the green, but that will be a tough putt on the way. Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. Tough start to the backside, Frank.
Yeah, it doesn't bode well, too. You start losing confidence with the putter early on. No, that's a shot gone forever.
Well, double par here. Time to pick up and move on. Here at the 11th hole, and Frank, once again, we hear phrases like rock wall, canyon, not your ordinary golf course, is it?
That's right. This par 4 bends a little to the right. Actually, a big advantage for a longer hitter here, because if you can hit it far enough down here, you will see the green. Anything short of that, and it's going to be a blind second.
Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up. Shot now from the rough. Frank, what's he facing?
Well, the lie first and foremost. If it's sitting down, then obviously you're not going to get a very good contact. Nothing wrong with coming up a little bit short of the green. Problem is turning one mistake into another.
Getting set for this next shot from the rough. What does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are, because, you know, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
No one likes these. Putt for double bogey. Well, once you hit double the par, it's time to just pick up and move on. Up to the par 3 12th, and again, I've said this before, Frank, you do not want to miss it left.
All long. This green just juts out there at a 45-degree angle. Must fly it all the way through the air. That bunker might save you, gives you about another 5 or 10 yards, but you've referenced it long left, and you will be in trouble.
And yet again, he has hit it off the tee and into the bunker, looking to splash this softly onto the green. That is always so disappointing from that kind of a spot when you come up short.
Yeah, you're licking your chops over that one. A shot you think you could hit directly at the flag. Now, test for the short game.
Frank, we hear the sports psychologists so often say, put the mistake behind you, live in the moment. Easier said than done.
It is, male, female. It doesn't. It certainly affects everybody that plays this game, and somehow you've got to, play. You've heard the old cliche, one shot at a time, but this is why it's so important, because if anything from the past creeps in, it really does affect on what you do after that.
He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball. This shot is on the fairway, over 300 yards. Frank, this one's offline.
There's rough and thick stuff over there.
This is a 99-yard shot. Frank, safe to say he is not having his best day out here today. What kind of advice do you give a player who's struggling?
Well, you just almost got to forget what's happened. I know that's easier said than done. Just start a clean slate. Just hit a good shot. Just find a fairway. Don't try and get too specific. There's enough out there. The greens are big enough. Just find a piece of green. Find a piece of fairway. Maybe knock a couple of putts in, and then let it add up in your direction.
Settles in over the putt. You can't leave it short, Frank.
Oh, and especially right in the middle.
Just a couple of feet. Well, you almost lose count at this point. Safe to say, not under par. In fact, well over par. Frank, what's cool about this hole is on that third shot, presumably, I don't think anybody can get home in two at about 900 yards, but on that third shot, there's just no two ways around it. You have to fly it over the canyon.
Rich, I'm scared of heights. I can't afford to look to the right there. That is a massive drop-off down the side there, and When you're looking at that third shot going across there, that is, well, you take a deep breath, hopefully just look at the flag. And then even when you hit it on the green, you've got to walk across that. But that is an enormous drop down to the Colorado River. I'm loving that balance. Long and straight.
That's how you do it. Frank lost that one, and that might be OB.
Oh, I think you're right.
Frank, they always say it's a game of inches, and this time, inches to the plus side.
Also a little bit of luck there. You know, gust of wind, anything, and that ball was definitely out of bounds.
Frank, let's hope he doesn't make double bogey now.
That's the saddest coming out in you, Rich.
Just a little tap in here. So after all that, it's a bogey. And Frank, this is the first time I can ever recall being in a mobile announcer's booth. That's us. Right there, you can see it in that hot air balloon.
Well, we keep blowing hot air. We'll be up here for a while, Rich.
I know I have plenty left in the tank.
Well, let's see if he's got plenty left in the tank after that dismal display from close range at the par 5.
Set to go. Not an easy shot by any means. So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. Let's see if he does it here.
He'll be pretty happy with that one, about 20 feet away in a good spot.
Just seems an absolute waste. Got to take your time.
Not going so well for him. He has this for bogey. Oh, man.
Just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Bit of a disappointment there. Doing what needs to be done. You need to make them from that distance. We are now at the 16th hole, Frank, and this is some layout.
It's 105 feet from the tee shot up to the top of the hill where the ideal landing position would be. And then, of course, the hole turns back on itself. Unless you hit it all the way down the end, you're going to have to hit it across and over that rock wall to a green, as you can see, that is hidden.
Into the thick stuff, that's a difficult lie. What was he thinking there?
I have no earthly idea. Rich, you know, after you've already made one mistake in the rough, there's a chance he's going to make another.
Just trying to get it back out into the fairway and not make a big number.
Well, from in trouble, Rich, at least he's back in play.
On the fairway from the rough. McIlroy now, 5th shot. That's a well-played shot, putting the ball right on the green. Getting set now over the putt. Well, you're not going to make that putt all the time, but you'd like to at least get it to the hole.
If he keeps putting like that, he's going to be an announcer in no time.
Been a rocky round. Just 2 holes left. The 17th is a par 4. Frank, looks like a bowling alley, not a golf course.
Yeah, it is, but you could easily get a strike down here, that's for sure, because you'll knock over more than pins. Anything left or right is going to hit one of those mountains on either side, but hopefully will bounce all the way back to the fairway. So it might play a little wider than what first your eye sees. Second shot's going to play slightly uphill again to a green that pitches slightly back towards you, plus 2 different tiers.
Ready for his 3rd shot. Needs to hit this close. Okay, good shot on the dance floor. This from about 10 feet. Wow, that's disappointing. Chance to get too deep on one hole and you leave it short.
Well, the good thing is he didn't miss it, right? It didn't go past and miss. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
we'll never know.
Okay. Still has a chance for birdie, too.
Right, okay. I like that positive attitude. Are you for real? It was terrible.
Well, the stats say that is a green hit in regulation, but it's not yet a par on the card. Very tough putt coming up. Always two components to the long lag putt, the speed, number one, and then the read, and missed out on that second part. Oh my goodness, he just missed that. And that was almost tap-in distance. Tough hole has this now for double bogey. It happens, you have a tough hole, time to pick up and move on after the triple bogey. So Frank, as we put a wrap on the day, it wasn't his best performance, but there's always tomorrow in golf.
Yeah, you still got to keep your head high. Golf's a game that's going to be